All right, welcome back. Democratic Socialist and New York City mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani making it clear where he stands on a number of radical issues, with one exception. Watch.
Do you condemn that phrase, globalize the Intifada?
That's not language that I use.
Do you condemn that phrase, globalize the Intifada, which a lot of people hear as a call to violence against Jews?
I've heard from many Jewish New Yorkers who have shared their concerns with me, especially in light of the horrific attacks that we saw in Washington, D.C. and in Boulder, Colorado, about this moment of anti-Semitism in our country and in our city.
Why not just condemn it?
My concern is to start to walk down the line of language and making clear what language I believe is permissible or impermissible takes me into a place similar to that of the president.
Always Donald Trump. So we've heard this phrase used during anti-Semitic protests across the country, but what does it actually mean? Well, in Arabic, it translates to shaking off or uprising, and is used to describe rebellions and civil disobedience movements across the Arab world. The phrase is also associated with calls for global solidarity with the Palestinian resistance and encourages uprising. It has often been used in movements or protests against Israel, like the First and Second Intifada, which marked periods of violence against Israelis. So why wouldn't Mamdani condemn this? Joining me now is journalist and author Badia Angar Sargon. He had 3 times to just say, I don't like it, I don't mess around with this type of language, but he just wouldn't. Why? He must believe it.
It's a great question. As somebody who was in Israel both during the First Intifada and during the Second Intifada, it's important that your viewers understand what an intifada is. It means you put your child on a bus to go to school and you don't know if they're going to come home alive or if they're going to be blown to pieces. If only Palestinian resistance took the form of civil disobedience, but it always takes the form of violence against civilians, and that's what the intifadas were. So what does it mean to globalize that? Well, it means they're coming for me here in New York. Make that global. It's a call for violence against Jews. So why can this person not say, I condemn calls for violence against Jews? And the answer is simple, Lawrence. It's because look at who he won with. He won with the highest advanced degrees districts in New York. He won with the wealthy. He won with people who are part of the over-credentialed college elites, from where all of the anti-Semitism that we're seeing now comes out. The average American is unbelievably protective of their Jewish neighbors and would never countenance violence against Jewish Americans. It is all coming from the elites, from the university systems, from people like Zohran Mamdani.
It's bigger than not condemning it. He stands with them. They're cheering behind him. He was one of the first of 2 council members to be arrested right after October the 9th. And this is when, like 2 weeks right after, he was protesting with these people, and they're shouting it behind him. So they may not be his words, but he's standing with the people.
And in fact, 4 years ago at a DSA conference, he said he got his entire political education from starting the Students for Justice in Palestine branch at his college where he was at. So this is very deep in his ideology. One would wonder, you know, he's so big on free speech, would he allow people to talk that way about any other minority, about trans activists? He was just, you know, at the trans movement, at the Pride Parade. Of course he wouldn't, right? The message to New Yorkers is clear. Calls for violence against Jews are completely legitimate in this person's worldview, and we cannot countenance it.
I want to bring this broader because, you know, we're talking about New York City, but this is happening all across the country as well as internationally. The U.S. State Department has decided to revoke a visa for members of the Vaudevillian band after they led the crowd in this chant. Watch.
All right, but have you heard this one though? Death, death to the IDF, death, death to the IDF, death, death to the IDF.
I mean, the message is very clear. What's your response?
Well, I think it's incredible that they revoked his visa. You don't get to do that in America. You know, people think that this is a free speech issue. It's not. The First Amendment is for American citizens and people who live here. It's not for people who want to come as a guest. We are a pro-Israel country.
That's
the
right.
American people, their moral intuitions are with Israel and with the Jewish people. This is not acceptable, and I think it's so cool that we're putting our money where our mouth is and saying you're not welcome here.
I don't think many people realize, but the Israeli military and our military are linked in arms. We do a lot of our trainings together. Their hostage rescue team is one of the best in the world. We train together. We go to combat together. We are a Judeo-Christian country. This is not something that we're going to allow people to come in and just change overnight.
America has a long and deep history of philo-Semitism. It is a very pro-Jewish country. Now, there's a very interesting debate happening among young people, both on the left and the right, about aid to Israel. But you know what? We get a lot of bang for our buck in terms of intelligence sharing, in terms of developing weaponry that keeps Americans safe. So I support that kind of a debate. I think young people are in a different place than the older generation, and that's great. We should have that conversation, but they should be prepared. We're going to lose a lot in terms of our military vivacity and ability to protect Americans if we break that bond.
Yeah. We also, with that requirement, when we do give them money, we have the requirement that they buy American-made weapons. So that money comes right back into our economy.
Sure does.
But you know that already, Badia. Thanks so much, my friend. We appreciate you.
God bless you.
You too, my friend.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.